everyone, and welcome to Rose City, the After Show, the podcast where we dive into the world of the popular novel Rose City by author Corenna Khieu. In each episode, we will be discussing a different aspect of the book, from the complex characters to the intricate plot twist and everything in between. Make sure to check out Rose City on Kindle Vella to stay up to date as we explore unique perspectives and insights on the story. Today, we have a very special guest who's near and dear to me. This is my baby. This is my niece, Isabella, and we call her Bella. Do you want to say anything, Bella? You want to introduce yourself? You want to tell the people a little something about yourself, gal?
Thank you so much for the warm introduction. Again, my name is Isabella. I go by Bella. I am a Tacoma native. I am 20 years
Yeah.
old. I'm recently starting my career into makeup and hair. I'm also in school for dentistry, excuse me. So I will be starting my prerequisites for that as well in the fall. Other than that, I really have a blast enjoying this book. I'm the type of person, I read kind of fast, and once I get into it, I'm in it. So as soon as I started reading, man, I've been having the time of my life. So I'm very excited to speak with you all in these next few chapters.
Yay! So we will provide all of Isabella's information and the links in the box and all that little good stuff because, my girl, Kyrie, she makes it go. She makes it pop. If you need anyone to do hair and makeup in the Tacoma area, she travels to Olympia and Seattle and everywhere in between. She's the girl for you. So let's just kind of ask you some questions before we get off into it. What has been your thoughts about Rose City? Because again, this is my niece. This is my brother's daughter. So I've been kind of talking for a while about this story. I didn't really think I would ever do anything really with it. My family, we're all very just much like we're jokers and we're big characters and good and bad ways. So, I don't know if anybody thought I was ever going to do it, but Alicia and Kyrie was like, you got to put this out. You know what I'm saying? So they really pushed it. What has been your thoughts so far?
Right. You know what? I'm very proud of you. Firstly, let me start off with that. I'm very proud of you for doing this in the first place. Not only with this book, but also your first book. I followed that as well. I followed, your daily prayers and missions like that. So, of course, I'm always going to be a big supporter. But just in general, Rose City is an amazing book. I remember as a little girl, I would sneak off, and read like my aunt's older books, like, the love stories and things like that. So I've always had like an interest for it. But then, just all the twists and turns and the unexpected things that you never would even imagine or think of. That's definitely kind of my favorite part because I love a twist to a story because, like I said, because I'm a reader, I feel like I can always figure out the story, before I read it. And this has like sent me for a loop. So that's something I definitely enjoy.
I love to hear it because, baby, we got some more loops. We got some more twists and turns that just keep on coming. So I'm really glad to have you guys all here. Again, Bella's my niece. Alicia over there, all fiery red today. That's my cousin, and then my girl, Kyrie A. Been my best friend since forever. So, it's just really nice to have my family here with me and talking about this project. And so we're all Tacoma natives. So, the East Side chicks in the house and whatnot. So we're a little different from most. We got a little class, a little ratchet. He brings it all, you know what I mean? And so again, when I talk about like my family, we have all worked at the funeral home. Bella's got mad skills on the hair and the makeup, so the dead come out looking real right. Okay, she's worked down there her entire life, so we're just all very connected, very, very connected. So we are on episode 13, which is speed dating. Everyone, what were your guys' thoughts, Alicia and Kyrie, about this chapter? Is there anything you guys want to throw out there before we get with the questions?
Um, I felt like Malia was coming out of her shell a little bit. That's all. We're gonna get into the questions, but I mean, like, she's always, got her head on, and she's always all together and everything, and then now she's actually with Eva. She's with Eva, and then she's like, actually like giving the guys a little taste. She's not being
Right.
all. See, me, I would clam up. I'd be like, Corenna, why you got me out here? You know what I mean? But she was just like, I mean, hitting with the questions and the confidence and
Yeah.
everything. I was like, okay, Malia, go ahead. That's my
Yeah.
thought.
She leaned
Hmm.
in. What about you, Kyrie?
Yeah, there's definitely no way anybody could ever drag me to speed dating. I don't care who you are. Karina couldn't even get me to do it. So I pretty much do anything for Karina. But I'm like, I couldn't imagine sitting there in anybody's face. Like, I mean, woo! I was talking to my husband for 2 years, and I was still shy to hug him after that. Like, I'm just no.
Girl,
So
I would have been
I
there
really do
sideways.
admire. I really do admire Malia for taking that big step and doing that, even though she really didn't want to. And then like Alicia said, she got into it. You know, she was engaging,
Yeah.
asking questions, and talking like she really wanted to be there. You know, so
Right.
I like talking to people, so I think that like I wouldn't necessarily be like, "Ooh, let me see if they have a speed dating in Portland this evening." Like that wouldn't be my thing. But if like one of my girls, one of y'all, Bella or Alicia or Kyrie, would be like, "See, I know Alicia and Kyrie wouldn't do it, but Bella might be like, girl, that might be good for a laugh."
Yeah,
So I'd be like,
Bella will pull you out.
Bella would, Bella would pull me out. Bella would be like,
I
you know
would
what,
go
Auntie?
just for the good time.
Exactly. Bella would be like, Auntie, we should go just for like the laughs. If nothing else, we can go and then we'll go to a restaurant and then we're going to share stories and we're going to laugh. I'd probably go just for the laughs because realistically, I probably wouldn't meet anybody who's like worth, anything anyway. But yeah, I would definitely go. Even if it was just for like laughs, I would definitely go. I was feeling some kind of way about Noah. He was kind of irritating me a little bit and I don't know what it was. He seemed like he was trying too hard. And he had made a comment like she said like, "Oh, what kind of woman do you like?" He's like, "Oh, you mean like race?" And I was like, he was giving some kind of like a fetish, like, "I want to try a black girl." And I'm like, "This ain't no sock. You ain't gonna put me on, okay?" So yeah, it didn't. Yeah, he was kind of giving me annoying vibes. What about y'all?
Yeah, I have
I
some
didn't like
big
the
opinions
Spanish dude.
about that one.
Yeah, he was giving me f boy vibes. Andres,
Mm.
Mr. Cubano. Yeah, he was giving me f boy vibes. All right, so we're going to get into questions. And Kyrie A, you're up with the first question.
all right. Our first question is: how do you feel about Chan's character? Do you sympathize with him or see him as a villain? Well, I don't sympathize with Chan because he's a grown ass man. So maybe if he was younger, like growing
Mhm.
up and trying to figure out who he wants to be in this crime boss lifestyle, this triad, family, it's kind of like really a decision has been made for you when you're born into it, but when you get older, you can really decide, if this is something that you want or you want to walk away from it. So, I don't necessarily see him as a villain, though. I kind of like his character. But I mean, I guess, if you want to call a thing, yeah, he is a villain, but I kind of like the villains. So,
Definitely. Sorry, I'm over here sending Kyrie messages. So unprofessional. Alicia, what were your thoughts on Brother Chan Kong?
Brother Chan. What?
Church roots are coming out.
Um. I'm on the. I'm sorry. I'm on the same thing that Kyrie was saying. I don't really see him as a villain. I think he has people do his dirty work for him. It doesn't mean that he's not willing to get down. Um, and I also don't. He's grown. I don't sympathize with him. I don't feel like nothing was forced upon him, so to speak. He seems comfortable where he's at. I don't know where any sympathy would come from. You know what I mean? Nobody's coming after him. He's not being attacked or you know, like Malia's dad. You know, even though he deserves no sympathy, at least something happened to him. So you're like, oh, but I know, not really, but I don't see him as a villain though. Something wrong with him, but I don't see him as a villain.
So
Something
Bella, do
definitely
you
wrong. He got her under surveillance, so he's obsessed. Yeah.
definitely obsessed? So Bella, do you see Chan Kong as a villain, or do you sympathize with him because of his position? What are your thoughts?
You know what? I think I see it a kind of a couple different ways. Firstly, I think as us as women, when somebody takes attraction to us like that, or they share, we would think of it as an obsession, but when somebody shows that much interest in us, we're like, oh snaps, he really likes me, or he really wants to mess with me. So in a way, it kind of like makes me like, oh my gosh, he's that dude. But then there's another part of me that is like, he's out of his mind and I want no parts. So kind of, mixed signals, but it's kind of like, well, is he, does he really care for the main character, Malia, or is he's going about it the wrong way? Or is he really just out of his gourd, kind of thing. So I have kind of mixed feelings about it.
I definitely see Chan as a villain, but the thing is, I like a good villain. Like I like a good bad guy. I have this thing about movies. I was okay for Black Panther. I was so upset when Killmonger died because I really felt what he was going through, and I was like, and let me not go too deep off in my feelings for Michael B. Jordan, but my husband does watch this. But yeah, I was like, don't take him out. Like keep them muscles, okay? But yeah, I like a good villain. I tend to really connect with them and their mission, and I understand like where this is coming from. Yeah, do I sympathize with Chan? I never really thought about giving him any form of sympathy before we had this discussion, and thinking about like he was raised in this lifestyle, and why is my cat mean mugging me like that? Like I feel disrespected. It was just distracting. She's just sitting over there like, you back on that thing again, huh?
What's
So
up,
yeah, yes, princess.
She's
So,
watching the podcast.
girl, yeah, she want to be up over here. So
Kitty's gonna be here
I
soon. He's looking, but he'll be here.
like Kitty Bob. He's like, I'm right around the corner. Don't you worry, cuz
Every
I
week.
never really thought about him every week. I never really thought about Chan being a victim or in this lifestyle. I never really thought about it like that. But I mean, when you're raised in organized crime and things that normal people would think, you just don't do that because we're raised like, okay, you don't steal, you don't cheat, you don't kill, you don't mistreat people, you don't lie. We're being taught all these things, and Mr. Kong is teaching his sons the total opposite: is kill, steal, destroy, take by force, put a gun to a person's head if that's what needs to be done. Hostile
Chain him up in
takeovers,
the
like
warehouse.
chain them up, baby, chain them up from the ceiling and beat them with a stick, like and pull out a couple knives and cut out a kidney. So his lifestyle and the way that he sees things is a bit on the different side. So I guess like sympathize with feeling like his father has stolen his innocence from him, making almost conditioning his mind to think that bad behavior is normal. I mean, this man has a whole security detail on this woman that she don't even know nothing about. Her every move, her parents' house is bugged. Her businesses are bugged. She's under surveillance in her own home. He's watching her in the shower. So it's like sis is really being stalked at like the highest level and the highest capacity. I mean, your emails have been hacked. She can't send a text message. She can't send an email for help. He sees and knows all. He has become God in her life, and she don't even know
But
she
y'all
ran.
think that's so romantic.
Shut up! Shut up! Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
It is really sweet.
Monica, you crazy for that? We toxic. God's gonna deliver us all tonight. Like, Elisa, you need a deliverance too, because you'd be like, ooh.
I do. I have my ways about me, but Lord Jesus, I'm
You
not
said-
down
you
for
said that ain't one. That ain't
I'm
one.
not down for being stalked. I don't see how you three can see this and be like, oh,
It's
he
extreme.
really loves me.
Because we're messed up individuals, and God is working on a serious deliverance up in this piece. It's like,
You know what?
again,
I'm here for that.
but again, we talked about it. If this dude was some old raggedy looking white man who had 3 beer bellies, bald headed, nasty clothes, looking like he from Hills Have Eyes, we'd be like, no, this is an
Girl,
abomination. It's an abomination. But
What was
because
that
he's
you said?
sexy,
You said
he
spin it and
young,
shake it.
I'm
got
sorry.
money,
We have
he
to get
got
the tough ones. Ain't no
power.
way.
Right, ain't no way.
way.
But because he's young, he's sexy, he's fine. We like, how you doing,
There's levels
Sam?
to this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's toxic. It's toxic. I know, and I'm working on
Very
that.
much so.
Because I would hate to God for somebody to watch this and be like, "Oh, she wants a stalker." No, I don't.
Open invite, follow Corenna Khieu here, and then you got
You
problems.
know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't be that hard. So yeah, I think
But he's
looking
making
at
a
it from the
Netflix Corenna, so
shut up, Lisa. It's okay, like when you looking at it from like the perspective of a story, but like real life, that would be kind of off. Because I'd be like, man, the way my kids like to tear up my house, I'd be embarrassed. I'm like, you saw. So Alicia, you're like, you know what? That's the least of the problems. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Chad is definitely a villain. And I feel like as the story progresses, we're gonna see him do some things. We're gonna be like, ooh, that he's a bad mamma jamma. You know what I'm saying? So he really is a villain. Do I sympathize for him? I do, from the perspective of just he's been pulled into a world, and when you get pulled into some stuff, you just don't know what's normal and what's not normal. Being a little girl whose father and mother owned a funeral home, it was nothing to be 5 years old and to see, dead people in the caskets, or walk in a room and my mom and dad are both simultaneously getting somebody dressed, or my dad embalming somebody who's been autopsied. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I saw some stuff as a little kid walking past that embalming room
Yep.
that used to just be like, and then as I got older, it was like, okay, yeah, this is somebody who's dead. My dad took me to the crematorium one time and was like, "Oh, you want to see somebody being cremated?" And I'm like, "What?" And so there was like this little metal thingy, but it's like a glass on the other side, and you could pull it. You could pull it down, and the person had been burning for hours. At this point, and it might sound a little graphic, all I saw was rib cage, like the head had fallen off of the person due to the fire. And so they were just bones and it was just fire, just, devouring this person's body, because that's what you do in a cremation. So the stuff that I grew up seeing that most people would be like, that's not normal, right? Became normal for us, sitting
Right.
at the dinner table being like, yeah, I had to stitch this guy up and he had like 15 bullet wounds. Those are the type of things that you'd be like, oh my God, you're talking about that over spaghetti? And that's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? And my dad's like, yeah. And I had to figure out a way to fix his wrist because the shotgun just took half of the wrist off. And these are conversations that not normal to outsiders, but to us who we were raised in, it's like, oh, okay, well, how did you fix that, Dad? And oh, nice. Okay, so when I need to do something, I know what tools to use. So not
Yeah,
that the funeral industry is the mafia.
I would call you and ask you because you
Right.
knew. I'd be like,
Yeah.
Corenna, I got this going on with this guy, so what should I do? And you're like, okay, so this is what you want to use. This is the chemical
Yeah.
you want to blend, and blah blah blah. And I'm
Right.
like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, and so you're just like, okay, I'm dealing with this issue. What should I do? And we're all working with each other and helping each other. And Bella's got some awesome ideas. I'd be back there working with her. I'm like, that's a good idea, sis. We're gonna try that. So some things that you just think are just normal will scare the mess out of other people. So I think that even though we knew that it was a little like our conversations were very, very different, we didn't think they were strange till we got around outsiders, and they're like, that's gross. You know what I mean? And I think that even though Chan knows that his lifestyle is extremely different and it's strange and it's not right because it's legal, there's not this conviction in him. You know what I mean? Because everybody around you is required to answer to you, and everything is yes. But no, I don't feel like he's oblivious. Like I don't. No, he knows he's a bad guy, and we like a bad guy. Go ahead.
Mm.
Alicia, I think your next is the next question because I think you're tired of us.
Okay.
Now.
No, I'm not. No, I'm just sitting. I'm
Okay.
still on. Y'all think being stalked is romantic, but um, I'm not letting
That's
that
just
go.
in a minimal way. It's very minimal.
Very,
No,
very minimal. And it
it's
has
not.
to be from the
Minimal
right person.
is like following you to the store, maybe. Okay, he got everything and her parents
What?
and her car and her businesses bugged. And he's watching these videos over and over and over. It said that he watched her take a shower 9 times.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a little much. I'm thinking like you guys have had dudes like, where they're like, I'm gonna see what she's posting on Facebook, like kind of stuff like that. Or like, hey, I seen your Instagram today, I really like that picture you posted. Little things like that. But you follow me to the store, sir? No, I'm gonna have to chop you in your neck because what are you doing? Why are you watching me? Pick out what greens I'm gonna buy. I don't need that in my life, okay? That's a little too much.
Bank transactions. He want to know her money. Mm-mm.
If that fool was in the store with me, we would have problems. No joke. Like I'd be like, is that you hiding by the greens? Like, yeah, that'd be a problem. No lie.
I think outside of the imagination of it, we would really be freaked out by it. Because I remember when a person that I journeyed with before, Corenna, you might remember this story. I had walked to the store and then walked back, and he was coming out of a bush Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, I seen you. I saw you. You didn't go. You said you were gonna go." And I was like, and I hurry up and got back home and locked the door. So, I mean, when you're really in the moment, it is pretty scary, so
Yeah.
not really, but, the imagination of it,
Yeah. No, but when he came out
like,
that bush, we were a little on the freak. I was like, he was in the bushes. I mean, it was
mhm.
wild to come out of a whole bush. I screamed, but I was scared
That's
for her.
insane.
Again, because it's fiction, it's fantasy. Like, ooh, Chan, he fine as hell, and he want to stalk me. You know what I'm saying? But in real life, I'd be like, nah, bro, because I got a whole knife. I got a 9mm ready for you. Whatever. At least she's like, I ain't buying
So
it.
you're
I ain't buying it.
I don't care what he looked like. No, no.
He's
So
bad.
number 2, have any of you ever been speed dating? If yes, what was it like? Would any of you go on a speed date? So that's like 3 questions in one. And all of the above is no, no, and no. Um, never been. It feels like it's too much work. Um, like I think we said that earlier. I would clam up. Even if I somehow was dragged to go, I would clam up and we just be at the table staring at each other. Nothing said. We'll just be looking. I'm looking and he'll ask me questions and I'm just looking. So that's not really my that's not my thing. That's not my
That ain't her
scene.
bag, yo. That ain't her bag.
What about you, Carrie?
Yeah, no, never gonna happen. I get anxiety just even thinking about going into a room full of people that are trying to talk to me. It's yeah, madness. I forget who said it. Was it Malia that said it when she described it as a meat market?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it really does give a vibe of a meat market, and all the women are on parade, and the guys are going from table to table to see which piece of meat they like. I don't need nobody sizing me up and keeping score and going to that. That's just unattractive. That's just not my scene.
Bella.
You know what? Can you guys give me the question one more time? You said, so have we ever been speed dating?
Mm-hmm.
No, I actually have never been to an official like speed dating event. I've kind of had my own version of it. It sounds a little crazy, but you guys know when you guys go to like certain parties or certain functions, I make my way around the room. Okay, I'm sorry.
She
I
does.
I always have been the person, like I've tried to speak to everybody. I've always been, really friendly with other people, but I'm not gonna lie, there's a couple cuties in the room. Hey, babe, I'm gonna come over there and I'm gonna make some conversation, especially if I feel like you're worth the talk. Oh, baby, I'm coming over there to talk to you. So I guess in that way, but like as a formal kind of setup thing, people sitting down and hopping, to next person, I've never done anything like that. Would I? I'm in a relationship now and I don't really want it to end. But if it does, I would definitely be open to exploring something like that.
I think speed dating would be like, again, one of those things. I definitely would have to do it with Bella because as y'all see, Kyrie and Alicia are like, nah, we're not doing that. So Bella would basically have to be the person I would go with for that. It's not something that when I was younger, I always thought, oh, it looked cool. But then I started looking at some of them people who actually be showing up to some of them things. I think I might get there and get really disappointed, be like, I didn't put all this effort and time into getting dressed, and you over here looking like a lumberjack. Like, I feel some kind of way though, because I really feel like I put effort. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really put this nice Jimmy Choo perfume on. I didn't did this hair; it's been curled to perfection, and you up here with a pair of work boots on. Like, make it make sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you up here, I don't even know what to say. Like, I feel like the level of effort ain't it's not given what it needs to be given. So, like I said, I probably would go to something, but it would have to be somewhere like LA, New York, Miami, Dallas, somewhere where I know is going to be a big population of African Americans mixed with some Latinos, some Asians, whatever, like, Middle Eastern, whatever. I need to know there's going to be a melting pot of Hispanic people and Polynesians and blacks and maybe a couple, thugged out white boys and whatnot. I'm just playing about that part because we don't need a thug.
She wants some Paul Walls in there.
Maybe kind of like a Jack Harlow or
Uh-oh.
like, you know what I'm saying? I think Paul Wall might be a little much.
You gotta be like a spicy kind of white.
You know what I'm saying? A little spice, a little spice.
Y'all said spicy white, Lord.
I don't know. Like, I've never dated a white guy. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, in my mind, you know, if I was going to talk to somebody, definitely a little G-Eazy. Definitely somebody like a Jack Harlow. It's the swag for me. It's the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't never ventured to that part of town. You know what I mean? But if I did, that's kind of like the sauce I would kind of have to have. So back to the speed dating thing. My husband's gonna be like, "What? When he watches this?" But that's all right. I think yeah, he may not need to watch this episode. So I probably would just for, like I said, that it definitely wouldn't be happening no here in no Vancouver or no Portland because it ain't saucy enough out here like that.
There's
And
a
I'd be
few. There's a few. I hate to say this, but
you were.
there's some speed dating things they've
I know
had. At
they have
least
them
back in
here.
like
Oh no, they
2010.
have them here. I just don't know if they're gonna have all the sauce. Like I don't know if it's gonna be the
Oh
flavor.
no, definitely full of Noahs and
That's what I'm saying. A lot of Noahs.
Oh,
I'm looking for something different in your brown skin. I'm like, this
I've
sounds like
never
a
been
fetish
with
to
a
me.
brown
So
girl.
no, I've never gone speed dating. At this point in my life, I don't need to because thank God I'm married. And I want to stay that way. Um, Again, if I did go, it would definitely have to be with somebody like Bella, and it would have to be in the right type of city with the right type of mix. And so if you see, Eva's talking to Malia, she's telling her this is like Portland's premium elite for business people. So it's not just like a one come off, one come all. Like the door ain't open. These people have been pre-screened because I think that they were definitely looking for the right type of blend of people who was going to be saucy, attractive, you know, submit your headshots first because we just not letting lumberjacks in. You know what I mean? And I'm not against the lumberjacks. I haven't seen some.
Yeah,
But
some of them money though.
I'm just saying,
But
you got a lot of that out here in Washington and Oregon, a lot of, you know, kind of trucker guys, you know what I'm saying? And that's cool, like, you know, but we're talking about business and sauce here. So I don't think that I would probably end up having to do it, but it might be an experience. But I think it would be kind of weird just having people go from table to table because once I catch a vibe with you, I'm like, man, F this. Like, let's head out. Like, let's go to dinner. There's a little Italian place, a little Indian restaurant, like, because I didn't look at the rest of the room and this is the best. So let's
right.
bounce. You know what I mean?
Well, you gotta make sure he's on that same energy because
That's
he
what I
might
was
still
gonna
want
say.
to
If he was
rock
like,
and roll.
I
There's
wanna
a few more over there I want to talk to. Yeah.
yeah. If he's like, yeah, well, I still got a couple more people. I'm like, okay, so you didn't catch that? So you didn't see me and fall in love? I'd be offended. I come off as crazy, but I really am. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say when I get with my peoples, when I get with my ladies, it's all
Right.
coming out. But yeah, I would be a little offended if he was just kind of like, no, I'm gonna stay behind. Okay, F you. So if I see
Yeah.
you on the street, we don't know each other.
At
And that's
all.
me. That's me. Me and my toxic self. I really am working on becoming a better human being.
Oh, girl, stop.
I am because I
You
can't be a
are.
little toxic.
There's nothing wrong with you. You
I
know,
think
I
you're
tell
really
you.
awesome.
Yeah, just so sweet.
And if you become a better human being, what if we didn't like you anymore? Like, what does that even mean? You're so awesome.
I'm not
Wasn't
just
there,
like, don't change
there was a
nothing.
question about that last week where it was like, did you try to, is there a time where you
Yeah,
changed and people didn't,
people try to pull you back. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
No, you
I
trying to
kind
ruin this good thing we got?
I
Like,
know. I'm like, sis,
that.
what you doing? We need Karini.
We
We
need
need all
Kareem.
that crazy.
Yeah, we need it.
And I'm definitely going. I'm definitely going to bring the crazy. Like I bring that well.